Now on Yorkshire, John Shires looks back at a great soccer weekend for Bradford City.
These were the scenes in Bradford this evening as the city paid tribute to the football team that bears its name. Thousands lined the streets to celebrate Bradford City's elevation to English football's elite for the first time in 77 years. A little over 24 hours earlier, the club earned promotion to the Premiership with a momentous victory at Wolves, the culmination of more than 9 months' hard work. This is the story of Bradford City's historic season. It began on an assault course at an army barracks near Chester.
Through the holes and form up on the other side, jogging on the spot where to go. Any problems, any questions, good, stand by. Go! Stand by! Go! Stand by!
Not so much a test of fitness, more an attempt to get the squad working together.
Our strength has been the togetherness and the bond. We haven't got a massive squad, but when we go away from home, we all travel together. And the lads who aren't playing are very, very disappointed, but their supporters, once that whistle goes, they're supporters.
Go on, shit! Go! Next in, stand by. Go on, Naz, get that ass through! You look like G.I. Joe there! Private Benjamin. His eyes on. Get it! Good shoot! Oh, good facial, Stu!
Everyone hates pre-season, but it was good because it was varied. I mean, we even had aerobic classes, we did swimming, we did running, which you need to do to be finished. But going to the army camp helped, yeah, I mean, it builds up the spirit. Like I say, a lot of new faces, so we all got together. I mean, it wasn't great at the time, getting up at 5:30 with a bugle in your ear, but yeah, it was good. I mean, we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves there, worked hard, got good preparations.
Well done, lads!
Team bonding was important because there were several new faces. McCall had arrived from Glasgow Rangers in the summer. It was the return of the prodigal son. The Scottish international at 34, approaching the veteran stage, had started his career with City in 1982.
Hill, nice little back header to Cook. Good ball through. Here's McCall in a good position. McCall, what a start for Bradford. And the youngster, Stuart McCall, gets his first ever goal at Valley Parade. It's his fourth for the club. The first, though, in front of his own fans.
Stuart's special. A player coming back home. This is where it all started for him. Stuart will go down in this club's history and amongst the supporters as a living legend, because that's exactly what he is. His attitude on the field and off the field is always absolutely fantastic.
As the season started, 2 more expensive new faces arrived. Both cost more than City had ever paid before for a player, and both were strikers. Isaiah Rankin cost £1.3 million from Arsenal. Lee Mills arrived from Port Vale for £1 million.
Every signing that you make is a gamble. Not all signings work out, but 7 signings were made in the summer. Dean Windass has been signed since on a permanent basis, so there were eight signings, and I think all of the signings, to a greater or to a lesser extent, have been absolutely great, because every single one of the signings that have been made have played their part in being where we are today.
But at the start it didn't look that way. 4 points from their first 6 matches was relegation form.
Gill, the Bradford manager in the middle there, who's the first to accept that his new signings will take some time to work out an understanding. Now Scowcroft! Terrific strike.
In the pubs and clubs around Bradford, the fans were beginning to have their doubts.
I think one of the advocates, it was a dual out chant. It proved a lot of what people had felt, that it wouldn't be up to the task. That there were a lot of panic, I think, within the fans, that if they didn't do something about it now, remembering we'd already been 2 years previous nearly relegated, and people didn't want the same sort of scenario that they'd had then.
I'm totally embarrassed. I was one of the people who were shouting for Joe to be out at the beginning of the season. I was expecting a big name manager to come in, but I'm glad that proved wrong.
A lot of people thought he'd be on his way even before the season started. My mailbag last summer was horrendous, to be absolutely honest with you, John. We lost a lot of season ticket holders. A couple of thousand season ticket holders didn't renew, really. They thought that the club was taking leave of its senses in the appointment. They were looking for a big name, and I understand why fans would look for a big name. But, you know, very often what a big name means is somebody that's failed somewhere else. It very often means that.
It was checked by McCarthy, and now Lawford drills it forward. Here's Jewell. Duxbury's up there as well. Jewell, Paul Jewell.
Paul Jewell had been at Valley Parade as a player for 10 years. He was made caretaker manager after the sacking of Chris Kamara in January last year and confirmed in the job in the summer. He too was well aware of discontent, but was determined to make the most of his opportunity.
It's easy to say, oh, you know, throw a towel in, but I'm determined, I'm stubborn, because I believe I can do a good job. The chairman was magnificent, he stood by me. Chris Hutchins again was magnificent. He's a big rock for me. And at the start of the season when I spent the money, you know, I know people didn't want me as a manager. I'm not going to kid myself. But hopefully I proved one or two people wrong.
Even so, the fans believe Stuart McCall was heir apparent and Jewell was simply a stopgap.
At least 90% of the fans thought, you know, Stuart McCall's come in there, you know, although it's free transfer, but, you know, big signing on fee and everything like that. And he's just warming up, ready to take over.
I tried to shoot that down straight away. I mean, a lot of nonsense was spoke about that. I came back here to be a player and a player only. I spoke to the gaffer before I signed, and you know, that's what he wanted me to come and be. He wanted me to be a captain and lead the boys, and that suited me down to ground. You know, I mean, I know there was a lot of rumours, but I thought it was nonsense.
I brought Stuart in the summer and I spoke to Stuart at length, and I said, look, you know the rumours, I know the rumours. We're not silly. We're big boys now. And he said to me, look, he said, all I want to do is come and play football. And I thought his attitude and his drive and his ambition is fantastic.
Yeah, I did have my doubts, along with everybody else. And I think you've got to give a lot of credit to the chairman for sticking with him, because he must have been under a lot of pressure.
And the chairman's faith paid off. The new signings found their feet and their form. In mid-October, City recorded their biggest away victory of the campaign so far, 4-2 at Portsmouth.
We went straight from Grimsby to Portsmouth and we murdered them. Absolutely, we were 3-0 up at half-time, it could have been 5 or 6. And I came away from that game thinking, hey, we're not a bad side.